Awesome. The third game that we're really looking forward to covering today is Railroad Tiles, a 2025 release designed by Halmer Hawk and Lorenzo Silva, published by Horrible Guild. According to Board Game Geek, this 1 to 4 player game plays in a half hour for humans 8+. I would contend, and I'm going to say more of a 10+. But Doug, I'll let you give an overview of this game, and then I'm really looking forward to discussing this wonderful title.
In Railroad Tiles, you oversee the construction of a transportation hub of trains, automobiles, and passengers over 8 rounds. Each round, players will draft a set of tiles from a shared pool, with the number of tiles taken determining the player order for the next round. After selecting tiles, you must place them in front of you, trying to make as many connections as possible without limiting yourself in the process. At the end of each round, you'll be able to place car, train, or traveler tokens on pinpoint locations to score points. And the more pieces of the same kind of each new placement connects to, the more points you'll earn. The end of the round placements change from round to round, so you'll need to plan or spend precious star tokens to place a token of your choice instead. The game ends after 8 rounds, and in addition to the points scored during the game, players can also earn bonus points for their largest complete rectangle and for creating sets of adjacent city tiles. But players can also lose points for roads and rails that lead to nowhere. And the player with the most points wins. The base game also includes a solo mode and objective tiles to make each game feel more unique. This is a tile placement version of Railroad Inc., which was the original kind of roll and write design from these two designers for Horrible Guild. And what really appealed to me when the Kickstarter was launched was I really loved Railroad Inc. I really hated drawing roads and railroad lines on the board, you know. So the idea of having a similar type of game in a tile format was really appealing to me. So I was predisposed to like it because I already liked Railroad Inc., but this one has exceeded my expectations even from that, of just, gosh, it just does all of the things that you want a good tile placement to do, which is how can I build everything as compact as possible without closing anything off and keeping my options open.
Yeah.
And trying to balance those the entire time. I've had games where it works out really well. Other games where I feel like the wheels are off the car and I am careening down the highway. And I've enjoyed both experiences equally.
Well, I love the draft and the placement. I really enjoy that flow. This is a game that I did not back when it was on GameFound, because I kind of thought I'd get the collector's edition at Gen Con. And so if anyone out there is looking to sell or trade theirs, you know, get a hold of me, because I want to speak directly to the designer, Lorenzo Silva. You're an excellent salesman. I mean, you had me. My note going into Gen Con was collector's edition, buy it. But then I could not get my hand in my wallet, because $200 is a lot of money. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot of money. And he was working the sale. And now I kind of regret that I didn't come home with it, because those expansions that are in there, Doug.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got 9 different expansions in the box. I like how you can mix and match. I really like what the objectives add to the game.
Yeah.
The base game, though, just the actual base game, is a lot of game for families.
Yeah.
If you are a gamer and a completionist, you're probably going to want that collector's edition. I'm sorry to tell you, because there are 9 expansions, right?
Something like that.
5? There's a lot.
I had to take a half day off work to punch it all.
Well, it's a good thing that you own your own business, man.
Yeah.
I love the draft, though, in that turn order of, if I go all the way out to the farthest and I select the 4 tiles, that means I'm going to be the last one for the next round, right?
Yeah.
I love that back and forth. And there's not a lot of downtime, because as soon as I get the tiles, I'm placing them. What stands out for you in Railroad Tiles?
Well, there's a couple of things that are really interesting. So the idea of playing placing out the car, train, and traveler tokens, some of the tiles have little map pinpoint markers that you can put those tokens on. And the tokens that you can place are determined kind of by this rotating, just kind of a waterfall of tokens that are coming by and say, okay, this round you can place a traveler and a car. The next round you're going to be able to place a car and a train. The
but
next
it's
one,
not too fiddly. I mean, it really moves.
No, it moves through. And so I like having to kind of keep an eye on, okay, do I want this tile for the connection, or do I want it because it has the right pinpoint that I need to be able to score the next round? And those are important things to do. The objective tiles, a couple of those tokens out of the 8 or so of them that there are, I don't know if there's 6 or 8, have a little flag on them. And when that comes out, that determines that you can play one of 3 objective tiles that you have. And so it can come out at a great time, it could come out at a bad time, and each objective tile has its own little scoring condition to get 5 extra points, which 5 extra points can make a big difference in this game. And so when it comes out, if it comes out early, it can be great because you can kind of build around it and strategize. If it comes out really late, you know it's sitting there the entire game and you're kind of planning for it, but you don't know when it's coming out. So I love that aspect of it, the wrinkle that adds. But the two things that go into the expansions and to what you had just said about the fiddly, it's not fiddly.
No, it's clean.
You restock the market by grabbing tiles out of a bag, and each expansion comes in its own bag with its own tiles, and they are put into the grid of the pool that you can select tiles from in a certain order, which means you never have to mix up all of the tiles together. Where a lot of games with expansions like that, it'd be like, all right, well, you're using the lake expansion, throw all those tiles in there.
Yeah.
And then guess what? At the end of the game, you have to sort all that stuff back out again, which is a pain in the butt. This one is so streamlined to add those objective modules or those expansions in without adding extra setup time or complexity or fiddliness, that I just really appreciate how well they did that.
Yeah, there's another thing too that comes through in repeated plays, and that's you're going to get bonus points for your biggest rectangle. So you're going to multiply. So if you got a 3x5, that's 15 points. If you got a 3x6, that's 18, and so on and so forth. And knowing that, after the initial play, you might get burned a little bit, but knowing that, I think it really helps to limit some of the analysis paralysis that can happen in anytime you're drafting and placing. Because there's that sense of, all right, my North Star is a rectangle. As long as I form a rectangle and close off roads, I'm going to score okay. And is it 5 that you're penalized? Any open connections greater than 5, I believe.
You get 5 free roads to nowhere.
Are a negative point. So that's one of those nice little balancing there of largest rectangle, good. Open roads to nowhere, as Doug just said, bad. That's the perfect amount of information for me. I can balance that in a half-hour game and have a good time and feel like I played a full game.
Yeah. Well, I think there's the element of having different... in some ways, it can be really bad, but in this game, it seems to work for me anyway, is sometimes having too many plates spinning that you have to balance can shut everything down. This one seems to be the opposite, where there's so many plates kind of spinning that there's only so much you can do, and you just have to pick an option. Whether I'm trying to finish my rectangle to get points there, or I'm trying to close something off, or I'm trying to get something so I can place a token, or I can complete an objective, or whatever, you kind of have to pick one and just go and live with it. That it's like, I don't feel like it slows down as much as you could kind of think that a game with that many plates in the air could have. It seems to work really well for me on that end.
Yeah, 100 episodes ago, in episode 138, we reviewed The Great Split. And I have a similar take as to what you just said from that game to this game. And my wife and I continue to play the Great Split a lot. I feel like Horrible Guild does an amazing job of publishing games that are accessible to casual gamers and people who love to play games. And that's where Railroad Tiles falls for me. That, like you just said, there's the perfect amount of tracks to go down, but not an overwhelming amount where things just slow down to a halt.
Well, and there's also a level of, there's kind of stuff going on that I can't put my finger on where the luck is or where I made a bad decision, which I think for me is a really good space of where I enjoy a game. And when that is there, I can enjoy a game regardless of whether I did really well or really poorly, because I can just kind of chalk it up like, I may have made a wrong decision or placed a tile wrong somewhere. Who knows where it is? There's no point where I can look back and be like, you idiot, you did that, and that's what cost you the game. And there's also a luck of the way the tiles come out.
Because you're pulling them from a bag.
But there's so much that it's like, well, you obviously got that better one. Like, you can't do that. And so you get to the end of the game and you're like, yeah, that worked. This one didn't. Oh, well, it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. And that's what I think is what really makes it good for me. Because sometimes those games where it's like, when I have to look myself in the mirror and know where I made the mistake, that's rough. Because then I'm like, I wish I had not done that. And then I kind of feel bad about it. This one, I kind of can like, it was me, or maybe it was the game. I don't know. Who's to say who's to blame in this one? So I think it fits really well in there. So that is.
It was you, Doug. Probably. I'm not blaming this game.
I agree. It was me. Full culpability. So that is Railroad Tiles.